Welcome to Rocsi on the Living Hellth podcast today to talk about autoimmune disease and your personal story. A long journey, a frustrating journey, but also a story of a lot of hope and very inspiring. We'll get into the questions shortly, but I want to ask you an icebreaker question that I think is quite indicative of health. I'm going to ask about your last period cycle.
My periods right now are much better than what they used to be. I still suffer with primary dysmenorrhea, which is painful periods without a cause. My last period was quite terrible. I've been bleeding for 2 weeks after my ovulation.
I'm sorry to hear that. You look amazing. You wouldn't know. And I think that's also a big theme of chronic illness and disease, is that sometimes you don't know what someone's going through.
We look so great, but we feel so shit. So I grew up in Romania in a very small town. We had a big garden, all the vegetables and fruit possible there. When I got my first period, I was actually helping pick the potatoes, harvest the potatoes, and I felt something like, oh, what's going on? Is this it? I didn't grow up in a household where we were talking about these things. I'm from Eastern Europe. We don't talk about things. Feelings and therapy doesn't exist. Ever since I got my first period, I had incredibly painful cramps, literally legs up the wall, crawling in pain on the floor for 12 hours. I was not able to see in front of my eyes. That's how much pain I was in. So she took me to the gynecologist. I feel like that was the beginning of my autoimmune journey. I was having bloating, I was having pain. I developed ulcers in my stomach, so I had to be taken to the emergency room quite a few times. I started having panic attacks when I was 17. I felt like I couldn't breathe, I felt pressure in my sinuses.
It's so hard because how do you advocate for your health when you can't even articulate what's going on because you're so young and you've never experienced it before?
My body started going into this very weird attack mode. Not attack mode, but actually trying to restart itself.
You sort of spoke about it where you felt so disconnected from your body. I think you said your body wasn't your own.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
My skin was a mess. I was having bloating every single day, so much pain. Being able to wear a pair of jeans in the morning and don't dream to fit in them in the evening because my belly was doubling in size basically. I just started researching gut symptoms. Then I started researching the way that I'm feeling. I had my hair falling off. I gained so much weight. I think I gained 10 kilograms in the span of 6 months. I was just feeling terribly fatigued all the time. I sat down to write something and it wasn't computing. It just didn't click for me. Anything that was on the screen was like words were mingling. At some point I thought that my dyslexic, I can't read anymore. But it was just me being so fatigued. And that was what I know now to be. I started looking at nutrition. I started reading papers. I started reading books, everything that I could get my hands on. That's how I became a certified nutritionist. I started getting more into, okay, what's the role of nutrition in period problems? Because I thought there must be some. I learned about inflammation in my degree. I learned about nutrients and the role that they play in the 3 monthly cycles, in the uterine cycle, ovulatory cycle, and hormonal cycle. When I finally managed to get my body a bit in control, I lost my period. One of them, she referred me to an endocrinologist. And then that person, bless his heart, tested my thyroid. I would have never in a million years thought. He tested my thyroid antibodies. I had antibodies in the thousands. The normal level of a pregnant woman is 400 and a normal level of a non-pregnant woman is 200. So mine was 3,700 at that point. So let's send you for some scans, some MRIs, etc. So then he sent me for a scan, an ultrasound. It was 16 centimeters. It was really big on my left ovary. It was literally engorged in it. At that point, I had a resolution. I knew there's something going on and there's something wrong. Understanding what kind of diet would be great for Hashimoto's. In 3 months, my antibodies started going down. And then in 9 months, they were within the normal range, and that was it. My thyroid autoimmune condition was in remission.
What was it like getting that diagnosis?
The diagnosis itself wasn't hard. The way that I was living with it was a hard recovery, and it took a lot of willpower to not stop my journey for supporting my thyroid.
To any other woman listening that has just been diagnosed with Hashimoto's, what would you say to them that you wish you could say to yourself in that moment back then?
It gets better. It gets better, but you have to fight for yourself. Wish more women and men, everyone, would know